So, question types. Since this is an adaptive examination, the questions are going to change depending on how well you're doing. Harder questions on the exam are worth more points. Easier questions are worth less points. How do you tell the difference? Most of the times in the exam, multiple concept questions are going to be the ones that are technically considered harder and worth more points. These are K-type questions, select or the applies, branded generics, situational questions where you have to make an interpretation based on the law. A lot of the easier type questions are going to be kind of this or this. It's not going to take a whole lot of thought to put into the question. You get more accustomed to identifying the question types as you go over more exam questions and get more comfortable with them. But by the time that you're ready to take the actual practice MPJE, you're pretty much towards the end of your study. So, being that you're at the most prepared point in your study process, you're really going to be able to do a great job. Now, the more practice you put into the quiz banks, the easier it's going to be for you to identify the level of questions on the exam day. The TLDR and NAP practice exam are the best resource to identify the trends that may exist within your state law, and this can give you clues to what's more than likely going to be tested. I gave a couple examples here with Pennsylvania and West Virginia. They ask a lot of questions that deal with time constraints and deadlines, things such as C2 emergency fills, partial fills, controlled substances, and document filing and retrieval. That's just one example. But like I said, going through the TLDR and the NAPP practice exam is going to give you a better gauge on what topics are more than likely going to be tested for your state. And always remember, when choosing between state and federal law requirements, always choose the law that is the most stringent requirement. Between federal law and state law, depending on the topic, there might be two different requirements. And like we just stated, if the federal law requirement is more stringent, pick that as the answer choice. The state law requirements more strict, pick that answer choice. The great thing about the state quiz banks given from RX Prep is they take the time to identify those questions that differ between state and federal law, which is great because then once you get those questions out the way, anything else that you look at, you know that the state and federal law requirement is going to be the same. So you cut down on your study time and it gives you a better peace of mind because now you're able to go in and know, depending on certain laws specific to my state, I know that state and federal is the exact same. Mindset is big. When you go into the MPJ examination, you want to be as confident as you can. Going in there thinking that I hope I pass the exam is not the mindset you want to have. You want to go in and take the test from the perspective of someone who has passed it already. In order to cultivate this mindset, you need to start thinking this way from week number 1. At the end of the 4 weeks or however long you plan on spending on studying for your exam, you have easily gone over and made notes on over 1,000 questions. These resources were cultivated in order to help you pass. And if you do a quick Google search on the best resources to use, these are the ones that always come up. I personally help pharmacists and pharmacy students use this exact method and the materials that I listed to help them pass their examinations between a 6-month period, 4-month period, and a 2-week period. A lot of times it just took a couple of tweaks here and there, but for the most part, as long as you have these resources and going through the quiz banks, you're going to be more than prepared. Once you start your studying, I would say definitely take about 10 minutes a day. Just visualize yourself passing the examination. Once you make this a habit, typically probably around the 3rd week mark of just visualizing yourself passing the examination, you start to make success a habit. And once you make success a habit, when it's time to pass the actual exam, success is now a routine. And at that point, only thing you're waiting on is for your state board to send you your license via email and send you the actual physical copy in the mail because you would have passed the exam. Now, bonus content. These are a couple of the pages from the RX Prep manual that I thought were very important that you need to review. I just Took those out and put it on this slide. Go over these pages, I would say, every single day. This is the most pertinent information from the manual that you can use to review the information daily from RX Prep and stay on top of everything. When it comes to Quizlet, along with setting up your own flashcards to go over the information from things that you had difficulty on, I would look up Federal Pharmacy Law Essentials, and these were made by a user called Pass the First Time. There are over 400 flashcards in this set. Very useful in passing the examination, and definitely helps speed up the process. And then from the purple book, I outlined a couple of pages from the book, as well as the sample questions in the back of the book. And for further study, if you need more one-on-one attention on a daily basis, there's a website out there called varsitytutors.com. And on that website, there are tutors that you can sign up for and pay to go through different law topics that you're having trouble with, give you different strategies on things that can help. It is very easy to pass the exam. However, the exam is tricky. But as we talked about throughout this course, with the proper resources and a plan and diagnostic testing along the way to make sure that you're hitting your benchmarks when it comes to actually sitting for your exam, success will 100% become routine. And with that, I would like to say thank you for taking the time to go through this MPJE course from Ace Academy RX. Again, my name is Dr. Anthony Ryan. Thank you, and good luck on your exam.